Before class assignment number 13, vendor components and the 80-20 framing system. To get 10 points for this assignment, watch the following videos. First, the video introducing the 80-20 T-slot framing system. Second, the video showing a variety of 80-20 components. Third, the video showing the gang drill that you will be designing and building in subsequent assignments. And fourth, this video demonstrating how to download 80-20 CAD models. Once you've watched these four videos, then go ahead and download these CAD models of the 80-20 components that are necessary for this gang drill. The gang drill is an automated machine that will drill 3 holes at a time, 7 inches apart. This is a machine you'll be designing in a subsequent assignment, so might as well download some of the 80-20 components you'll need for it. So here's some of the components you'll need to download. This corner bracket for the 15 series. Here's a 15 series by triple wide, which is 4.5 inches, and 22 5/8 long. Here's a 15-15, which is 1.5 by 1.5 by 17 inches long. This is a corner gusset for the 10 series, that it's an 8 bolt. This is also a 10 series profile, but it's double wide by double wide. That's why it's called a 20-20 by 24 inches long. Here's another 20-20 by 10 inches long that you'll need to download, and another 20-20 profile by 27 inches long that you'll need to download. And here's another 15 series that's 15 by 15 by 22 5/8 long that you'll need to download. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we'll need to do is go to a website that has CAD models available for download. There's one website that's called 3D Content Central, www.3dcontentcentral.com. This is a website that facilitates several companies posting their CAD models here for people to download. So it's very smart for these vendors to provide CAD models for their components. It means that they're more likely to be used and purchased by designers. So the first thing I'll need to do is go to My 3D Content Central. And for you, it might require you to set up a login account. I already have an account, so it automatically logged me in. But when you go to My 3D Content Central, it will probably have you set up an account where you need to specify an email address and which company you're working for, which at this time happens to be BYU-Idaho. Once you're in, now you can go ahead and start finding content. There are several ways to find content. I could do a search on different component types, maybe a search on electric motors, or search on pneumatic actuators, or search on aluminum extrusion profile. Or I could also do some searches by the company name that provides those components. In this case, here's some suppliers, and 80-20 happens to be one of those suppliers. And here is the 80-20 catalogs that are available online with CAD models to download. I'm going to go to the fractional catalog, and let's look at some of the extrusion profiles, either the 10 series or the 15 series. The 10 series again is in increments of 1 inch width. Single wide is 1 inch, double wide is 2 inch, triple wide is 3 inch, quadruple wide would be 4 inch. The 15 series are in even increments of 1.5 inches, so it's a little bit bigger series. A little bit bigger T-slot, requires a little bit bigger bolts. The 15 series is in even increments of 1.5 inches. Single wide is 1.5 inches, double wide is 3 inches, triple wide is 4.5 inches, and so on. Well, let's go to the 10 series and download some 10 series extrusions. Okay, there's some 10 series single wides. This 10-10 means it's inch wide by inch thick. Here's a 10-20, inch by 2 inch. There's a 10-30, inch by 3 inch. Well, I needed a 20-20, which is 2 inch by 2 inch. So I'm going to go to the second page, and there's my 20-20. It's 2 inch wide by 2 inch thick. And notice there's 2 panes here. One pane will preview the CAD model if I have the special viewport software downloaded, which I don't, but that's alright. I don't really care about previewing it. I care about downloading the CAD model. So in this pane here, I'm going to specify the length. I can either do the stock length, which is just over 12 feet long, or I can do a custom length. The first one I want to download would be 24 inches long, and I'm going to hit update. and I'm going to download it in any of these generic CAD formats. You'll notice here that it says Inventor, but that's actually a .sat, so it's not going to download it in the .ipt Inventor format. It's really just an SAT format, which is a generic format. And STEP is actually probably a little bit better of a generic standard, so let's download it in the STEP format. And instead of having a zipped file, I'm just going to download the file. There's the file, and let's save it, and let's find the folder where I want to save it. And I'm going to maybe give this a little bit more descriptive of a name. It's 2020 and it's by 24 inches long. Okay, the next one I'll download needs to be 10 inches long. So I'll hit update again. Make sure you hit update or else it won't record the length in the file that you're wanting to download. I also want step format, so I'll download this, and I'm going to select save and give it a more descriptive name. This is by 10 inches long. And the next one I need is 27 inches long. So again, I'll hit update, and I'll download this in step format and save it with a little more descriptive name. This one is 27 inches long. Okay, that's the 10 series extrusion that I need. Now I need to go to the 15 series. So I'll back up, and across the top here I'm in the 10 series, so I can go to the fractional extrusion and now choose the 15 series. And you'll notice I have all kinds of 15 series extrusion. I want to get the 1515, but notice there are two options, a 1515 standard or a 1515 light. If you look at the cross section of the light, it's hollowed out a little bit to make it a little lighter. This one's not quite as light, it's maybe a little bit more structural. For this gang drill purpose, I could easily use the light. I don't have real structural issues, so I'm going to use the 1515 light. And again, instead of a stock length, I'll do a custom length. And the custom length I need on the first part is 17 inches long. I'll update this preview. And I'm going to choose to download it in step format, not a zipped file. Save this, and we will give it a more descriptive name. This was 17 inches long. Now I need another piece that's 22 and 5/8 long. That's 22.625. Update that preview. Let's download and save this. And I'm going to give it a more descriptive name. This is by 22 and 5/8. Notice how I did the 5/8. I did 5-8 instead of 5/8. The slash is not a valid character in a file name. So we'll have to just live with the 5-8, and we'll have to know that that means 5/8. Okay, I'm done with the single wide 15 series. Now let's go back to the 15 series and we'll see if we can find a triple wide. That's the next part we need, is a triple wide. And let's try on page number 3. Maybe page 3 will have these triple wides. Sure enough, there's the 1545. That's a triple wide. That's the one I want. So instead of a stock length, let's do a custom length. And this one will also need to be 22 and 5/8 long. We'll hit the update. And we'll download this in step format, but not zipped. We'll save this, and I'll give it a more descriptive name, by 22 and 5/8 of an inch long. Okay, good. I've got all of the aluminum extrusion profiles. Now I just need to download the corner bracket and the corner gusset. We'll do the corner bracket. We'll go to the fractional catalog, and instead of the extrusion, now we're going to go to these joining plates. Let's do the 15 series, and we start going down and we see, oh, here's a 15 series 2-hole inside corner bracket, But if you'll notice, this is mounted a little bit differently, and you can see there's a slot in one of the holes that will allow one piece to have some flexibility. That's a little more expensive to have the slot, and the part number I want will be part number 4302 rather than this part number 4295. So let's go see if we can really find the one we want. It's probably on page 2. Yes, there's part number 4302. It's the 2-hole 15 series corner bracket. That's the one we want. So let's download this in step format, not zipped. And we'll save this one. And I'm going to give this a more descriptive name. I'm a big fan of descriptive names so that I can look at a file name and know exactly what it is. So this is a 15 series 2-bolt corner bracket. Okay, now let's go to the 10 series, and we'll scroll through here, and it doesn't look like we're even at the gussets at all. We're at the joining plate. So let's skip a couple pages. Let's go to page 4, see if that gets us far enough to find the gussets, the corner gussets. Some joining plates. Now we're into some gussets. A gusset means not only is it a corner bracket, but it's also got this brace mechanism. It's a little stronger because it's got a brace. There's a 2-hole gusset. There's a 4-hole gusset. There's our double wide 8-hole gusset, part number 4138. Let's download this one. We'll download a step file, non-zipped. And let's save this as a little bit more descriptive name. We'll call it the 10S 8-bolt corner gusset. Okay, I've downloaded all those components in step format. Now let's go to Inventor and see if we really did download the correct thing. I'm going to go ahead and open, and we'll notice when you open it'll probably be by default you won't see anything, because by default it's showing only file types of Inventor files, the IAM or IDW or IPTs, and of course we don't have any of those. But I can open any format, even these generic CAD formats. Let's take a look at step files. Sure enough, there are all my step files that have been downloaded. Let's take a look at a few of those. Let's take a look at the 2020 by 24 long. There it is. That would be somewhat difficult to model. It's quite a complex cross-section. And if you notice here in the model tree, there's not much I can change about it. There's no sketches or no dimensions. It's just one solid. We call it a dumb solid because it has no parametric base to it. There are a few things that I could change about this, however. I could make this a little longer if I wanted to. Let me show you how you might do that. If I wanted to make this a little longer, I could create a sketch on this plane, and then I could project the geometry of that face onto my sketch. Let's finish the sketch. Now I have this sketch. I could extrude it. I could extrude that profile, and maybe let's go 3 inches. So now I could extrude and add on to this and make it a little longer if I wanted to. So that is one way we can make some changes to these dumb solids, but there's not much else we could change. Let's open up another piece and see if it looks right. Let's open this 8-bolt corner gusset. That also would be something relatively difficult to manufacture or to model, but it was nice that the vendor enabled us to download models. I'm much more likely to use these in my designs if the vendor has some models that I can download. And notice it's called a gusset because not only is it a bracket, but it has this brace out here which is called a gusset. Okay, so that completes before class assignment number 13, and we'll see you in class.